We could be calling Brandon Kirk the new Pro Wrestling After Dark champion.
I'm not quite sure how that would feel. To call the Rogue Brandon Kirk a champion? I mean, he almost made it to the end of the Best of the Light Heavyweights and actually made it to the very end of the Best of the Light Heavyweights match in our previous event here at the Hillsborough Polish Falcons Club here. Oh! Ridiculous head scissor takeover by Serpentico.
Well, at this point in the career of Brandon Kirk, he has had a very solid 2019, but like you said, it's hard for you to imagine him as a singles champion. He has yet to have that. That is something that Brandon Kirk, that it has eluded him up until this point as he gets thrown onto the top of his skull there. So that is something that has eluded Brandon Kirk in 2019. You can't help but feel that, that is his goal in 2020. That would be the next step for him. Maybe he squeezes in right now in the last bit of 2019, but Serpentico taking a moment to take a little pose with a fan in the front row.
Yeah, the Rogue Brandon Kirk rather unceremoniously fired by Colin West here in November of last year until you, Nicholas K., you brought him back in July.
Listen, I have been known as one that I like to stir the pot. I like to throw it into a situation and see what happens when it explodes. Brandon Kirk is that kind of guy. He brings controversy, he brings a bit of chaos, and he brings a bit of attention to the brand. He has had a fantastic year. He's had a bit of a buzz in the pro wrestling scene. And for things like this, Brandon Kirk does what he has to do. And people like that scrappy attitude of Brandon Kirk. And I, for one, I'm pretty into it myself.
I got to say, Brandon Kirk, he was my pick to win the Garden State Invitational. I was incorrect, technically incorrect. I think he was robbed. But it was exactly like you said, for that reason. He has that never say die attitude, the willing to do anything that it takes, even if it means going a little bit against the rules sometimes.
Listen, I am someone that, my wrestling career was epitomized by moments of, you bend the rules if you have to get what you need to etch that victory out. And Brandon Kirk, he lives by that same rule. And what do the kids say? Real recognizes real?
I believe that is the phrase.
I think they say that.
But yeah, if you want to ask someone about the depths that Brandon Kirk is willing to sink to, my other commentary partner, Scotty Cerruti, can certainly speak to that. Getting brained by that kendo stick last year. 1-2. Serpentico not able to get the 3 count. And by the way, the pronunciation, I learned this in my high school Spanish. If a word ends in a vowel N or S, you stress the next to last syllable. If a word ends in a consonant other than N or S, you stress the last syllable. If it doesn't follow that pattern, then you add an accent. Thank you, Brother Dausch, for that little bit of education in high school.
Well, I think your lesson was a bit too complex for about 95% of our viewers, but...
You mean the people who enjoyed the Jimmy Lloyd and Schlack against Bear Country match might not pick up on the finer points of Spanish pronunciation?
I'm not sure if they're on the same, quite the same level. But speaking of leveling, Brandon Kirk driving those elbows and now a very stiff headbutt. And now that knee right to the jaw of Serpentico.
He was about 2 inches taller after receiving that blow. Pinned by Brandon Kirk. 1-2, not quite enough. Serpentico able to get that kick out at about 2.5. No technique here, just a couple of shots, stomping on the head and then the ankle.
Holding him in place, stomping on the skull. Very vicious, offense on the part of Brandon Kirk.
Kirk just taking a walk around the ring, kind of stalking his prey right now. Just a slap to the side of the face and a second one. Just some of those open hand shots. And Serpentico able to battle back a little bit with one to the head of his own. Brandon Kirk just headbutts one after the other. Getting up ahead of steam. Super kick. Serpentico jacks his jaw. A couple of chops and a roundhouse.
Very fast and furious offense here between these two guys.
Springboard cutter.
Beautiful.
Serpentico able to roll him up 1-2, and no, not quite. Serpentico able to keep his title belt, but for how long?
Now, Brandon Kirk had a very impressive display in the best of light heavyweights. You can't help but feel that now with a competitor the size and stature of Serpentico, he's taking this as an opportunity to prove his worth after coming up short on that.
Yeah, I mean, when you lose to Homicide, there's really not a whole lot that you can say about not deserving a comeback match, but to pick someone with the ability of Serpentico as your comeback match, I think that speaks to Brandon Kirk's ambition.
Absolutely. There's no shame in losing to someone the caliber of Homicide. Good ring awareness by Brandon Kirk. Able to save himself from that 3 count.
Referee Chris Bankos right on top of it.
Like I was saying, no shame in losing to someone the caliber of Homicide, but you know, Serpentico is someone that he has been around for a while. He is well traveled, has a good bit of experience.
Kick to the gut of Brandon Kirk. Another springboard. No, Kirk catches him. Oh, good Lord. It's that snap German suplex and turns him inside out, head over heels. Kirk with the cover. 1-2, new champion? No.
And these guys with offense just too fast to even call right now.
Just explosive, really. We have the lucha style of Serpentico and just that, as I said, explosive. I'm not sure what other word I can use for it. Just that hard-hitting, fast maneuvering of Brandon Kirk.
Brandon Kirk is the type of performer that he is able to kind of meld and counter any sort of offense that he meets. So he is able to match a lucha style, a brawler style. He is very adaptive, and that is what makes Brandon Kirk. He's a bit of a chameleon when he gets in the ring. You don't really know what you're going to get from him.
And we saw that in his earlier career, tag teaming as the Rogues with Jeff Cannonball. He was able to complement that style, that more hardcore style of Jeff Cannonball. So as you said, becoming a bit of a chameleon.
We've seen him do deathmatch style. We've seen him. That
referee Chris Bankos hits the deck hard. For once, Brandon Kirk didn't intentionally hit a referee.
For once.
Serpentico with that vicious right hand. To the side of Brandon Kirk. Kirk avoids it.
Up and down. Dome first.
Form of a pile driver,
that could be it.
From the second rope. Brandon Kirk with the cover, but I don't think it matters. Bankos is still out. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can count as high as you want right now.
And technically speaking, we should have a new champion right now.
Yeah, Brandon Kirk should be looking for his title belt.
I never thought that I would say this, but I feel for Brandon Kirk, feel that he was screwed right now.
Brandon Kirk looking for maybe some of those leftover Secret Santa gifts. He'll settle for a chair.
Brandon's got to be careful here. It looks like the ref is stirring, getting back up.
Yeah, Bankos is just knocked silly.
You don't want the ref to turn around and see you with that.
Oh, Serpentico struggling to get up to his feet. Brandon Kirk with, Brandon Kirk knocks himself out with that steel chair.
I have never seen that before in my life. Not once.
1, 2, 3, 4. We've got it going the other way now. Serpentico with the cover. But again, referee Chris Bankos still not able to get his faculties about him. Serpentico going to take advantage. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? Serpentico is going to lie, cheat, and steal his way to keeping the title?
Brandon Kirk just got Eddie Guerrero as a verb.
Serpentico heat.
Well, that's not really how I pictured this going down.
No, I mean, we saw some of the explosive offense, that back and forth maneuvering we saw between Serpentico and Brandon Kirk for it to end this way. But, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter how you win as long as you get